modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We built the modern world. We built the modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We invented the modern world.
I feel you. You're so dumb.
We invented the modern world.
You fucking degenerate.
We saved billions of people from starvation. We built modern civilization. White people are the best thing that ever happened to the world. We are so amazing, and I love myself, and I love white people.
Say that one more
Fuck
time.
yeah, white people.
Say it right here.
Fuck yeah, white men. We're white men. We did everything. Look, I don't hate other people. I just love white men. I just love white men. Oh, God.
Just saying more talking points and more talking points. And clearly, and then I talk to people that know him and like, well, Joe's hanging out with these professors. You know what that means? The local professors. He's hanging out with the leftist professors who, you know, have a three-letter name to them. And I'm just like, oh, my God. And then I just see it. I see it. I'm like, dude, I'm not stupid. Stop it. You don't have to have me on to counter all this. You can throw me under the bus. Just don't rub it in. And he won't stop. And then I start sitting back, what I know about the psychedelic movement, who's funding it, what I know about how they try to create these culture groups that, you know, are self-help and, you know, how they're fronts, how they use universities as front groups, the UT psychology department working with certain groups to test things in certain areas and all the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've been sitting right next to this and not doing a thing about it because I'm just busy, not expecting someone I know is right there with it all. And then they're actively not just letting me get chewed up and not have a response, but aiding in it, reveling to curry favor with the establishment. Owen Benjamin is on fire today, as he usually is, and we got Roger Stone coming in about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to talk about Joe Rogan in the next segment. And, you know, I sent Joe a message that I'll tell you about in the next segment. It's not a mean message. I just said, you can say whatever you want about me, but if you read George Soros' talking points about me on air anymore, I'm going to tell folks, not stuff I know from knowing you personally about 20 years, but about that damn CIA operation here in Austin. And that's all I'm saying. And it's not like some threatening thing. It's like, dude, you're not going to slap me around without me coming back. So just get ready for that. And you know, I almost hope he does something because I'm all sick of this faux tough guy crap all day and everything else that goes around here. I mean, I take on Hillary Clinton. I take on the globalists. And I'm not trying to be the biggest tough guy around here. I just got to do what I got to do. And it's not, well, we'll talk about it coming up. We'll see what happens. But, in fact, I just had to give him fair warning. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, going back to Owen Benjamin. Owen, where do you, in this short segment we have, like 4 minutes, where is it going, the peak insanity? I get the wizards think they're manipulating us. They're manipulating some people, but they're kind of smoking their own dope. I mean, they're getting really far afield. They're acting crazier and crazier. Where do you see all this going?
Well, their goal is to have a world with no borders where they get to choose who lives and dies, because in the top of the pyramid, it has nothing to do with money. It has only to do with control of resources and the lives of people, whether or not they live or die. It's all about control. That there's a natural biological pushback to that I mean, greater people than Hillary Clinton, and I don't mean great as in good.
You mean more aggressive, more evil?
Right, Stalin. Yeah, like Pol Pot, Mao, Stalin, you know, people that have more amplitude and more follow-through than these people have tried and failed.
Yeah, there have been some really evil, powerful, smart fighters, and she ain't it.
Right, exactly. And there's ways that we can get past it with having a family, loving your kids. Like, I have an Apple laptop, and what I did when I found out some of the stuff they were doing, and I hated looking at that bitten apple because it's so biblical, I just filled it in with a marker. And then they don't want to give us a wall. I started building a fence. You know, my wife stays home. We had a one car for a while because we couldn't afford another car, but we wanted our sons to have a mom. It's like these little things in our life is how we fight the big things, you know? And
let me guess, is your wife more happy than ever?
Oh yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome, and she has her master's in engineering, and she used to briefly have to be on Zoloft because she was like really sad, and now she doesn't have to be on anything, and she has a very fulfilling, very just wonderful life, and she's looks as beautiful as ever, and 2 little kids, and we're going for 3, going for 4, and it's the way to live.
Well, I want to say when we come back that I just have really thought about this, and I can't not be quiet about the Joe Rogan situation because it's tragic, and it's in our time. The real story has to be told, and so, and then it's not fair of me to send him a text message a week ago saying, you know, you say one more damn thing off of George Soros' talking point, I'm going to come after you. Nope, let's just do it. I think that's probably going to be better, and I think that's probably what needs to be done. It's just that I don't take any pleasure in this, and I knew it. I kind of knew it. And then I kind of ignored it, and it's almost like I'm guilty. I don't know how to explain this. I'm guilty, and this isn't about getting on the show because I wouldn't even do it for that. And I realized the whole thing. And you know, it's so bad that, God, it's that's why I keep balking. It's not that I'm afraid to do it. It's like, it's so bad that I like. It's kind of like cops when they get in a house, there's a bunch of dead bodies of kids in the boards. They don't want to pull them up. They know they're there because they've seen the videos the psycho did. I'm not saying Joe did that. Joe's a great guy. And it's like, I'm kind of like not looking forward to pulling these boards up because, man, there are a lot of damn bodies buried right there. In fact, I can smell them. You know, I'm not going to get into where the UFC money came from 20 years ago to start it up or who owns it. I think everybody knows that. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff. I've known Joe Rogan since 1998. I got to know him pretty good by 99. He's a smart guy. He's a funny guy. But he's very shark-like. I'm not saying he'll screw you over unless he needs to. So he's not like a shark trying to just, like the scorpion, ask the toad to take him across the stream. And the toad says, well, you'll sting me to death. And he says, oh, no, I promise. And he gets to the other side. He stings him. He goes, why'd you do that? I'm dying. He goes, I'm a scorpion, idiot. I don't think Joe Rogan's a scorpion. And, you know, I've seen Candace Owens come on this show and get us boosted and have us connected to all the big people. I still promote her stuff. She's a good person. And all these other people that I get demonized, I get attacked, I'm persona non grata by the establishment, so you don't come on the show. I get it. I don't need them on the show. But with Joe, it's a little different because I know he's super smart. Because the guy you see on air, he's got one guy that plays up to the potheads and makes them feel cool, and he's got another guy that plays up the pseudo-intellectuals. And I mean, Joe's very smart. In fact, he knows all the stuff I know. And then I learned about the groups that are involved, the whole sponsorship to promote DMT and psychedelics that certain groups out of San Francisco want done. It's kind of Timothy Leary stuff part 2. So Joe Rogan's the new Timothy Leary. And you know, now that he's got such a huge show, he's been brought into all that, which is great. I'm not one of these guys that's mad that somebody has a big show. My concern is when he goes, oh, I got Alex Jones on the show and set him up, made him look dumb. Like, I can't see that. And then I start thinking back to what I saw, what I witnessed, the things, the groups. And I'm like, my God, because you know somebody, you then just ignore. Obviously, anything big in culture is going to have certain groups come in and try to take it over. And so I'm not ready to talk about all this yet, and I don't take any pleasure, you know, showing Joe and other people, you know, oh, I'm not stupid, look what I can do to you. It's not that. It's that He perfectly read in the last year George Soros Global's talking points exactly as they were and didn't even look down. Because I even got the internal memos and things that Soros and Hillary and Podesta put out to news groups. So he was getting talking points exactly as they said. George Soros, why, he fought Hitler. He was a war hero, Alex Jones is crazy. He's bullying, parents of dead kids. None of that's true. And so I talked to him and I criticized him. And it was when Owen Benjamin was on a few months ago. And Joe calls him and he goes, listen, it's gotten too big. I want you on the show. Come on next month. I promise you'll do it. Everything's going to be okay. And he thought like, oh, Jones just got banned. He's peaking now. This will all go away. I'm like, listen, you need to have me on the show. Just stop reading their talking points. He goes, you're on next month. Never talk to me again. Psh, radio silence. And then my son listens, so he gives me clips. And I start telling my son, like in the morning and stuff, we're cooking breakfast, because this is what we do, like 6:30 in the morning as a ritual. We're in there cooking for my wife and my 3 daughters. We cook a big breakfast in the morning. I'm like, stop telling me what he said about me. And he shows me. I'm like, ah! So it's like crapping on me and rubbing it in. And he's just saying more talking points and more talking points. And clearly, and then I talk to people that know him and like, well, Joe's hanging out with these professors. You know what that means. The local professors. He's hanging out with the leftist professors who, have a 3-letter name to them. And I'm just like, oh, my God. And then I just see it. I see it. I'm like, dude, I'm not stupid. Stop it. You don't have to have me on to counter all this. You can throw me under the bus. Just don't rub it in. And he won't stop. And then I start sitting back. What I know about the psychedelic movement, who's funding it, what I know about how they try to create these culture groups that are self-help and how they're fronts, how they use universities as front groups, the UT psychology department working with certain groups to test things in certain areas and all the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've been sitting right next to this and not doing a thing about it because I'm just busy, not expecting someone I know is right there with it all. And then they're actively not just letting me get chewed up and not have a response, but aiding in it, reveling to curry favor with the establishment. And so therein lies the thing. I mean, let's just say this. I haven't gotten my I's dotted and my T's crossed. And I've got stuff just about the general field that is, let's just say, shooting photon torpedoes down the Death Star reactor shaft. And that's what frustrates me is people, because I'm genuine and real, think I'm that dumb and I'm that stupid and that I will put up with that crap, and I will not. So, Owen Benjamin, anyways, I'm not going to get into it all, and I really don't want to, and it's not something like, you better have me on. I'll not go on his show, period. Or if I do, I'm going to tear the living hell out of him. It's not going to happen. This isn't about getting on his goddamn show. If I wanted to be famous, I'd already sold out the system. You got it? My God is being authentic. But it's also about being authentic, which means I will be authentic. And so that transmission's coming. But when I do it, I'm going to burn it down real good. Go ahead, Owen. You got any comments to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's intense. I never even thought about how deep state stuff interacts with college professors, because my dad's a professor, and I've definitely seen some weird stuff going on with campuses. Like Blasey Ford, like she was out of a psych department at Stanford, I think, and all these people just seem to be associated with colleges.
Joe Rogan is the deep state. He's hiding right in plain view, Mr. Trendy, Mr. Cool. And he just wants a sponsor. He's ready to do it. And so,
one thing about Joe that I always thought was weird is how he doesn't have any opinions. Like, you'll listen to one episode, and then the next episode he'll say the exact opposite, to the point where you're not coming from an authentic place.
It's a chameleon.
A lot of people see that too, and I think that, when I do live streams, a lot of people will write comments, and I just react to comments, and that's one reason why there's some videos out of me like talking some smack about Rogan, is because a lot of people want to know about Rogan, because people will just keep being like, Rogan's a shill, Rogan's a shill. What do you think about Rogan? I'm like, I don't want to get involved in drama, but that being said, he had me on and he told me that I shouldn't make fun of Sean King and that I don't represent myself properly on Twitter. And
by the way, Sean King looks like Errol Flynn or looks like Red Butler. The dude's whiter than I am.
He's whiter than Bill Burr. He's like SPF 5000, and he's a horrible human being too. And so he's a race-baiting deep state liar. And so when I'm on there and then I get kicked off Twitter permanently and then Rogan doesn't have me back on to tell people where to find me, at that point I kind of knew something was going on with him. And then to see him not have you on when you were triple deplatformed and just seeing
he wants to be the last guy standing. And so this is just Joe to understand that I kind of knew this, but I just wasn't busy thinking about it. And so I researched it more and I looked into it. I made a few phone calls. And it's just like, wow. But this is how the system, let me tell you, he's now the chosen one by the left, even more than Jordan Peterson or any of those guys. They are handling him. They're positioning him, everything. And it's a very, very, let's just say the whole thing's got a glass jaw. And I don't even take pleasure in that, but I do take pleasure because all these so-called alpha males don't get, I will freaking punch hard when I need to. And it's not about me. It's about once I know the truth and once everything is clear, like, you know, you're busy in your life and all of a sudden things crystallize, Owen, and then you know the truth.
Well, he also looks exactly like a human thumb.
Let's put that graphic up.
Yeah, this is proof of cloning. This is absolute proof that they can now clone human beings because I can't tell which one is Joe Rogan and which one is a clone. And I just, you know, I find that astounding.
All right, well, we'll have to have a part 2 about this, and I didn't want to digress into all that, but I know you got to go, and Roger Stone's coming up on the coast with him, but do 2 more minutes on the side, because I want to ask you, how do you think Trump's going to do? Where are some of your new shows coming up, which I know you have to send emails secretly to folks. It's Super Fight Club with our good friend, thehugepianist.com. Straight ahead, I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com and Newswars.com. Tomorrow's news today. You know, I just spent some time on Joe Rogan. You know, it was Timothy Leary. This is declassified, by the way. I'm not saying things that are my opinion. Who, from the beginning, as a professor, got busted doing some things that were illegal. And so the CIA and the FBI got him as an informant by the 50s. And by the early 60s, they said, you're going to introduce drugs to the kids. You're going to introduce LSD and be our cover guy while we have local labs at all the universities producing it. And I just so happened to know some people who were here in the 60s who were producing LSD at the University of Texas for the Central Intelligence Agency. Little Bird told me about it a long time ago. And so they have these local gurus everywhere. So then later in life, you run into it and you go, oh, my God, it's the same thing. And so that's what all this is introducing how cool and great these things are, but not just so they can get you on the drugs, the DMT, all the rest of it, but so you're listening to them as their guru when you're on the drug, which is a at-far mind control operation. And then they set up a health clinic or a workout thing, a cool thing. And they got these girls, and everything's cool. And now you're in the club, depending on who you are, and they get celebrities there. And now they've got a cult going for politics, for blackmail. I mean, not Joe Rogan. I was talking about Timothy Leary. So that's what I'm talking about, Owen Benjamin, and that's stuff. I mean, you know, Bill Cosby, you know, got convicted of drugging women. But what if what Timothy Leary did was going on in every city, major city around the country, and what if people didn't know about it? That'd be a pretty big story, Owen.
Well, that's intense, man. That's so intense. I didn't even think about that. Do you think does Jordan Peterson fit into this? Because he's got that whole like professor vibe going on too, you know?
Oh well, Jordan, you know. And again, I want to be clear. I support Tucker Carlson. I support Sean Hannity. I support Trump. I'm not one of these guys that like sees people that are successful and smart and goes, I got to shoot them down to prove I'm big. I'm only talking about all this because I feel bad that I saw it and was even kind of told it like I was an idiot and I was like, and a few compromising attempts by certain people. And then I started thinking later, like, You know what I mean? Like when you know people, not Joe, not him, or not other people. I mean, just when you know people and then they try something on you, you tend to not be as awake to it.
Dude, that's I don't even know what to say. Like that, this is kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
Well, you know, there's going to be some people. There's going to be some people crapping their britches tonight.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. That sounds intense. Like I remember that the whole intellectual dark web seemed a little odd to me when they started turning on Brett Kavanaugh as a unit, and then I realized it was kind of a political apparatus. And that's when I first, because I was a big Jordan Peterson fan until he said that Brett Kavanaugh should step down. And that went in the face of everything that he
exactly.
preached.
They build their political capital, their avant-garde, till that last moment they show who they are.
Yeah, and then you listen to his biblical talks and stuff, and it's all about the Eye of Horus and all this Egyptian imagery.
Oh,
and
the
stuff.
New York Times promotes him and everybody else. Everybody in Meet the Renegades, the Intellectual Dark Web. You read that and you get the battle list of how the left's trying to invade our attempt to free people. Yeah,
and it's like they had me on that list in the beginning because that dude right there, Eric said that I was like the everyman's genius or something.
Yeah, let's be clear. They tell you how you're a genius because you're already successful to recruit you to start riding their you know what, and then they tell you to stay in our cool club, you've got to do this.
Right, and I'm incapable of that, and that's why I'm like not good in politics at all, like because I'm incapable of having people be like, okay, but you have to pretend that this nonsense in order to stay in the club. And I'm like, then I'm out. I'll just chop wood. You know,
no, you're right. You're right. Well, just imagine when we see him with Kevin Spacey and all this, imagine all the witnesses out there. Imagine all the witnesses out there. Imagine that. Can you imagine that for me for just a second? Like, just for a minute, like the witnesses, because it's not just who I was talking about earlier. I've got people years ago, before I even knew some of the names of these folks, telling me all about it, and then I later hear it from other people, and then I ask myself, why are the people like this? Because, like you said, Owen Benjamin, it's about power. These people don't have real power, and so they seek to create artificial systems of power.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan is legally considered a little person. Like he can park in handicap parking lots. And so when you're that small and you feel small, because I know little dudes that don't feel small, and they're cool, they're totally cool, but like it's about power. And I've never had that problem. It might be height.
By the way, I'm 5'11" and I don't feel little, and Joe's only a few inches shorter than me, but I don't get the whole little guy thing. But I mean, yeah, there's Joe. You're a big guy. How does Joe behave around you?
Well, I always thought he was 5'5". That was what I was told. So if you're 5'11", you have a good 7 inches on the guy, or 6 inches, or whatever.
I don't care. I just don't get the whole thing. I don't have a Napoleonic complex, but you're saying Joe has a Napoleonic complex.
Well, people that crave power over truth always do. And I know tall people with Napoleon complexes. You know, there's probably times in my life when I've had Napoleon complexes where I'm totally just kidding about the tall thing. I just think it's a funny theme. But like, there's little dudes that have a Napoleon complex. There's big dudes that have a Napoleon complex. And it's about control over other people over truth. And once you make that satanic deal, that truly is a Faustian deal where you take control over truth, your life starts becoming awful. And you're in a prison with golden bars, as Mickey Rourke said in Barfly. I always thought that was such a good line. You're in a prison with golden bars, you know?
And again, there have been a lot of people that got scared during this purge, a lot of people that did all these bad things. It's just the larger continuum of the truth has to be told. And then people just hope that that truth doesn't then come out. And I just hope that the Joe Rogan experience of cucking to the left, cucking to the control, giving into the establishment, not standing up people you claim are your friends, I just hope that that doesn't become the modicum of the new century. What do you think?
Well, I just, as you're talking, I'm so glad I don't have horrible secrets and that my most shameful moments are free for anybody to see because people have already tried to use them against me. And I have a relationship with my wife where she knows my darkest moments and darkest thoughts and darkest experiences. So it feels absolutely unbelievable to have a life where I don't have to worry about something horrible coming out. Wow. So I'm grateful.
Well, I don't think Joe knew about the intelligence agencies recruiting him until they were all around him. But I think there's an embracer going on. But I wasn't talking about him earlier about CIA cults and sex cults. I was talking about somebody else. But no, seriously. Owen Benjamin, hugepianist.com. I'm Alex Jones, thenewswars.com. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. God bless and have a great week.
You're the man. You're the man. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. We'll be back with Roger Stone. CBD-rich hemp oil is totally organic, all natural, something God gave us, and it doesn't have THC in it, and it's totally legal in all 50 states. This is where everybody's going. This is what your body actually needs. There are so many different spectrums of this natural oil that comes from hemp, now legal and lawful in all 50 states, that you need to just go research it for yourself. Now, obviously, there's been a giant marijuana legalization craze that Soros has funded the last 10 years. I've not been involved in that. It's a huge bubble. This is not marijuana. There are hundreds of varieties of hemp. This is industrial hemp that has all the good attributes, but not the bad attributes that turn people into potheads in their basements, picking and eating their boogers. This is the good CBD from the organic hemp oil. And there are so many great products that you simply need to go to InfoWarsStore.com and link over to WashingtonsReserve.com, or simply go to WashingtonsReserve.com yourself to look at all the products, to read about the history, and to see the facts for yourself. So 360 win. There are different CBD rich hemp oil extractions for many, many, many different uses. You owe it to yourself to go look at this for yourself and to also understand it helps fund the InfoWar. People wonder why I haven't gotten into CBD oil. Well, because some of the stuff's got problems, some of it can get you high, and some of it can get you arrested. This is not that. Legal in all 50 states. It's from hemp, not marijuana. It's totally legal. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we can ship to all 50 states right now from the great website, WashingtonsReserve.com.